All right, Clone Wars, episode 12, the final episode, the finale. It's over. It's done. We don't have any more Clone Wars. The series is wrapped. 7 seasons, years, more than 7 years, too. We had such a long gap. But it's over. It's donezo, which is sad because, you know, we have so many Star Wars things that come out that we enjoy, that we like, but you know, Star Wars is always, people are critical. It's like, there's not a ton of, like, perfectly great things. That's why Mandalorian was, like, so well loved, because like, wow, this is perfect, this is great. Clone Wars, these last 4 episodes have been that. They've been perfect, and I think we got to cherish what we just got. It's sad it's over, but we were pretty happy with what we just had.
Yeah, absolutely. That final episode, and like you said, the final 4 episodes, really, the final arc that made up this movie that we've been calling it, The Siege of Mandalore, couldn't have ended more perfectly, and specifically, which we'll get to, the last few minutes of the series could not have been handled better by Dave Filoni. So, I mean, absolute chills the entire episode. I stayed up to watch it last night. I think you did too.
Yeah,
so,
dropped it like midnight. They dropped it early.
It's sad. Mm-hmm. It's sad that this is the last time we're doing this. I don't know when the next time the 3 of us are going to be together doing one of these videos. It's going to be one of those Marvel shows, maybe Mando, but
the Marvel shows may not. I mean, I don't know when those are even going to debut. I'm not sure. I think WandaVision is the only one that's close to being done. Definitely Mando. They said Mando's happening on time. So
I did see an article, yeah, they said like the CG team was all working at home and they were all good. So thank God that is the way that's going to happen. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. This episode was perfect for me.
You know, Star Wars sometimes I think in totality has some issues sticking the landing. This is like a perfect landing for the series. Absolutely wonderful, just a delight. Like you said, Robbie, I had chills throughout the entirety of the episode. Great soundtrack, great emotion throughout it, and just a really, really great way of like not only just wrapping up a lot of these storylines that we didn't get a decent ending to through and the ending of the last season of Clone Wars, but also kind of looping into Rebels and looping into what we're getting in the future of Star Wars. So that's pretty awesome.
We'll break it down, what happened throughout the episode. Ahsoka, she says set to stun with Rex. They're still trapped inside that medical bay in the Star Destroyer, because she doesn't want to kill them. They're still following orders. She doesn't want to kill them. It just has that heart. We talked about that last episode. Maul was killing him. Ahsoka was not. That's the difference between the two of them. Even though she's not a Jedi technically anymore, she still has that heart. She's trying to escape without harming anybody. Maul, in the meantime, is escaping while harming clones. He has that armband on that he stole from the clone who he chopped his arm off. He can hear all the comms with Jesse. He knows what's going on. He's kind of clued into what's happening throughout the ship, which is helping him. Uses a couple cool maneuvers to get into like this hyperdrive room. Some great spins, throwing shit all over the place. He does not need a lightsaber, that guy. That guy's better off. He's worse with a lightsaber.
Yeah, really? What the fuck? He put a lightsaber in that guy's hand, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this thing. I'm going to get cut in half now.
Should have been using that more in Phantom Menace. This guy's like taking down an entire ship from the inside. What the fuck?
He loses. When he has a lightsaber, he loses.
Cool scene.
Yeah.
Very, very neat scene. He basically brings down a Star Destroyer from the inside. He takes out the hyperdrive room.
I've never seen anything like that. I don't know if they've done something like that in a video game before or something, but the way the ship came out of hyperspace and it was like fucked, that was awesome. It
looked so good, especially that they did like a go pan around it. Oh, it looked so sick.
Yeah, and the way they did it was like you said, very neat too. Like I don't know, it's just the animation style of the thing just kind of popping out and being destroyed. Like it looked hype. Cool. It almost looked like it was straight out of like a live action movie too. It looked so good.
Yes.
Yeah. So they manage. It's crashing towards a planet now. They manage to get to the hangar doors and to get the hangar doors open to Ahsoka and Rex because they need to leave the ship somehow. And as the hangar doors open, you can see that it's hurtling towards this planet, and they're kind of doomed unless they get off. And as the hangar doors open, hundreds of clones pop out. They were waiting for them. They knew they were there, led by Jesse. Jesse all armored up, waiting for them. And again, Ahsoka says, she's like, I don't want to hurt them. Like, set your blasters to stun. And he says, look, I'm going to be honest. Like, he doesn't really care. He's like, we'll kill him. Because Ahsoka, they don't care either. She takes off his helmet. He's crying. Pretty emotional scene. He's upset. Yeah. He knows all his brothers, everyone but him, is compromised. And again, it just she still says, like, I don't care. Like, you know, they're doing their duty. She has respect for them. They fought alongside her. She knows that this is a manipulation. And it's not just their choosing. And again, he's in tears in all of this because he knows what's about to happen. They think of a plan for how to get off the ship, and Rex pretends to bring Ahsoka to Jesse as a hostage. and says
classic Star Wars. Come on,
classic Star Wars movie. Yeah,
yeah. Which what we said last time that we thought maybe the Order 66 wouldn't hurt her because she maybe isn't fully a Jedi anymore, and he actually uses that. I like that they brought that in there, and he's like, hey, she's not really a Jedi, guys. And really, all this is the diversion because those 3 droids are off on the side trying to get a ship going, trying to buy time so they can escape. And Jesse doesn't really care. He accuses Rex of treason. Doesn't really matter to him that Ahsoka wasn't a Jedi. He said, look, you told us, Rex, to hunt down Ahsoka Tano. That's what you said when you got Order 66. So now they're both wanted. It's not even just Ahsoka anymore. And as they're creating this diversion, they're able to delay enough time where Ahsoka and Rex kind of attack them. They do this move with the droids where they drop the hangers. Or they drop, not the hangers, they drop like the
troops,
like certain platforms.
Yeah, the platforms move up and down. They drop the platforms, and the clones fall underneath, kind of below the deck. And as they do that, they now realize they can fight off some clones and go to the ship, but they see Maul has beat them to it. Maul is now running to the ship. He's outsmarted all of them. He's had that armband. He's heard what's going on.
That dude ran a 4.5. That was unbelievable.
Incredible stuff.
Quick. Ahsoka tried to chase him, and he threw Ahsoka back, pushed her out of the way. So she was basically done, had no chance of getting the ship. The shuttle takes off, and she chases after it and starts pulling the ship using the Force, which we kind of saw in like The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
We saw Rey pull the ship. And you thought
he also choked her. He also choked her. She choked him a little bit for a second. You see that?
Yeah.
When he was chasing her, did a whoop.
And so you thought I thought she was going to pull it back because I'm like, I think we're going to see a little more Maul this episode, but she has to give up on it. It looked like she was going to do it, but Rex is being overpowered, unfortunately. And the only way for her to save Rex, she has to let Maul go, and Maul flies off and blasts into hyperspace. That's the last we see of Maul. And we'll talk about Maul at the end of the episode, but that's it. Maul's done for Clone Wars. His arc is complete in this series. Ahsoka helps them escape kind of the fights, doing this really cool lightsaber trick where she put the lightsabers in the ground and then spun them around using the Force, and she dropped below the deck. That was neat. I've never seen anything like that.
I don't. It's pretty rare you even see a Jedi use the Force with their lightsaber in any way like that. You'll see a Force throw usually where it does the boomerang thing, but like for a Jedi to just let go of their lightsaber and then almost like draw with it, that was dope.
It was cool. It was artwork cool. Basically.
They do a lot of like using the lightsabers to like cut through walls and cut through all this shit to get through. I've never seen anything that cool. That's the coolest use of lightsabers to get through a barrier.
They're down below. They're below where they were on the platform. They use the like those movable decks again to shoot some clone troopers back up. They're like flying. It was like kind of like it was almost like I don't know what it was. It was very like Looney Tunes-esque, the way they were just kind of flying all over the place.
Like bouncing up and down like on a seesaw or something. Yeah.
So they were never really facing all the clones at the same time. The poor droids. R7 got shot during the scene where she was back Maul. And then the 2 other droids, they're the ones who do the maneuvers to help them fight less clones. And then the clones just execute them. They just fucking shoot them.
They show the clones are savages now. They're stormtroopers.
By the way,
we're not supposed to like these guys.
They actually didn't really show us the droid death. They kind of showed it off screen a bit. They showed clone death in the last episode, but the droids were just too gruesome.
Like,
people getting
the kids can't see that.
Clones were getting arms chopped off, heads chopped off, and shit. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. And then the droids getting just got enough screen execution.
Too sad. It's just too sad.
Filoni rolled a tear and he was like, "Let's not show it."
Older Y-wings. There's an older Y-wing down below. Very cool model, clone era Y-wing. Rex is able to get on board. Ahsoka Force throws him on there. And it looks like she's about to make her way there. But as this is happening, the ship is breaking up. We see on the control deck, the clone officers are like, we got to get control of the ship. And as that happens, everything goes haywire. They enter the atmosphere. The ship is completely breaking up. The Y-wing falls out below the landing deck that's underneath the ship and just starts tumbling. You haven't seen a ship tumble like that since Vader and in A New Hope, basically. So it's all out of control. Ahsoka's in the air, though we know Ahsoka can float through the air, but she uses her Jedi skills well to fly and navigate ships, because we saw her do that when they approached Mandalore a couple episodes ago. And then finally Rex is able to control the ship and steers toward Ahsoka, and she's kind of brushed off course a couple times, and is finally able to use the Force and help her get in the cockpit. And as she gets in the cockpit, they look over, and then the Star Destroyer just blows up, just fucking explodes, and then it makes impact with the planet, and it's donezo. I mean, it's gone. Anyone on board is dead. You have to assume at least. So it crash lands there, and we fast forward a little bit. Still that same day, though, Ahsoka's in her robes that we saw her in Rebels, her Jedi hideaway clothes, I guess.
The coolest Ahsoka attire in for my money.
Yeah, very cool. I do always like how like her horns though too. It's like that's
so
like,
cool.
The robe kind of is very high, the hood at least. She has put a bunch of clone trooper helmets on stake. She's buried a bunch of them because she still respects them. They've saved her life before. She's saved their lives. They have a lot of meaning to her. She knows they're manipulated.
They're wearing her fucking face on the armor.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, that's
painted, which was like emotional.
She can't shoot those in the face. That's her face. Like, it'd be tough to do. So she's very sad and emotional. The entire end of the episode, no dialogue, which I loved. It just let the visuals, let the facial expressions do the talking. The animation is so good. You don't need the dialogue. You know what's happened. Like, right? We know that story. Don't over-explain something we already know. We know they're dead. We know that these characters have moved on and they've gone into hiding and things are different now. And she just drops her lightsaber. She lets it go. She's done being a Jedi, at least in that sense, and she's now going to let people think she's dead. And then it cuts, and it flashes forward a long time. Big time jump. We don't know the exact time it takes place. You can assume a little before Rebels or maybe during the beginning of Rebels. There's a part in Rebels where Darth Vader, who's about to show up, we know eventually meets up with Ahsoka. There's a lot of assumptions about him going off and trying to find her as Inquisitors kind of take over the job of hunting down Jedi for him. I don't know the time, KenJac. I know you know Rebels as well, so you're right. I figured it's in that area. I don't think it's really defined time yet.
I bet Dave Filoni will come out and say it at some point. Because in his head, I'm sure he knows where it is.
I think it's before the events of Rebels, only because I think that both Ahsoka and Vader are surprised when they first meet. So it had to be at least a little bit before that.
When they hit the Padawan lives, that's so sick.
But Vader is there. We see some awesome shots of Imperial probe droids, who I only recently learned are not that big. I always thought they were like 10 feet tall. They're like 5 feet tall. They're very small. It's very shocking. Did not seem to be the case when you watched Empire. And you see snow troopers. They look great in the snow. And Vader approaches the wreckage, sees the stakes, sees some of the helmets, and finds a lightsaber, picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber, kind of fiddles with it, ignites it, which is crazy to see Darth Vader obviously holding a blue lightsaber like that. Yeah. We've seen him like do Luke's green lightsaber. We've seen some other things, but it's just crazy to see him holding Ahsoka's lightsaber as Darth Vader. And he looks up and he sees a bird. It's a Connor or a Canor. Morai is, I believe, what is the name of the bird. We've seen that bird before with Ahsoka. It's a bird that Ahsoka credits her life to, credits the Force, all that shit. It's a very important bird and figure with Ahsoka. And so you assume Vader knows that. You assume Anakin recognizes that and thinks to himself, like, Ahsoka's
She's
alive.
Out there.
It's related to the Force. I know people have tied it in with the with the sister from Mortis and all that stuff. So you just have to assume that that's a visual cue of Vader going, okay, she is alive. She's somewhere. We know they eventually meet up in Rebels. And as he walks away, we see his reflection in the mask of one of the clone troopers with the Ahsoka face paint, which is a very cool, like, that's like computer background worthy shit right there.
Yeah,
very
what a cool final shot.
The entire ending, it just looks awesome. It just looks very cool. It's a great way to
everything with the stormtroopers and the snow troopers. I was like, holy shit, this is like the coolest animation I've ever seen in my life. If they just made an original trilogy era cartoon where they like had that style of animation, oh my god, that's
they just remade all the original movies with that.
I swear to God, that's what I thought last night. I was literally last night after the episode finished up, I was like, all right, the next thing I want to see them do is remake the original trilogy with the exact same audio.
Use the audio. Just mocap Sebastian Stan for Hamill. You know, you just got plenty of actors out there that
it would be the coolest fucking thing to see, just because like we rewatch them all anyway. So why not? You know, you can
just give us different angles. Don't change anything about the story. Use literally the exact same audio track, but just animate it.
That's it. That's the episode. Pretty cool fucking way to end it. Seeing Vader, we thought we'd see Vader. I didn't know to what extent. We'll get to the end. We'll talk about Mandalorian, some connections to Mandalorian, and how they didn't really pay much of that off, which I think now that we see this ending, it makes sense that they tied it up with Ahsoka and Anakin. It's an Ahsoka and Anakin
It's more
story.
personal, yeah.
Yeah, to dabble into the other stuff kind of goes to what we set up. You know, if you were critical of something like Rise of Skywalker, there was so many fucking things, and we start to get critical that you're like, oh, wait a second. We just said, like, make it personal, make it more focused on the central points and the things that we really care about. And that's what they did here. It was an emotional ending to the story. Easter eggs? I mean, none. honestly. I haven't found any. I haven't seen many people that found others that we've seen. I mean, again, Vader and snowtroopers and Imperial probes, more either the Condor, the flying bird, but like we've mentioned those already. So really, no Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there wasn't a ton.
There wasn't anything crazy. I mean, whatever.
R7 getting a like kind of a big heroic moment in the end was nice. It was one of those things where you don't realize that you wanted it until it happened. You're like, oh shit, that's kind of sweet that they gave like Ahsoka and her little droid like in one last moment, even though it has a sad ending for R7. But yeah, not many.
Yeah, they unless I might have missed it. For once, I may have missed something. So please let us know. Audience questions: will we get a series covering where Maul goes? Because Maul kind of blasts off, and they don't wrap that story up. We gotta see a little more with Maul, right? We gotta see some more with Maul and his lead up to Rebels and all that, right? Wouldn't you think so?
Maybe in like a comic book or something like that. I don't think we'll get it in a TV show.
I think they built up too much of his story now for them to just kind of, let that whatever happened on a comic book. I think they might do something. I don't know. It wouldn't be a movie, but maybe just another series. I don't know.
You know, Sam Witwer's down. He'll do.
King.
The Darksaber is such an important thing too, right? Like
True.
That Darksaber story, and we know it's in Mandalorian. We have more payoffs of Mandalorian. I don't know. I don't know if it's Maul, but I could see them doing like a Maul series. I think it's very possible. Because we know that there's quote-unquote...
People do love him.
There's another Rebels series, right? That's what they've always said. There's another Rebels series they're going to do. I could see it being focused on Maul, especially with the feedback with the season. At Joshua Pauslius says, we're definitely going to catch Ahsoka and Maul in Obi-Wan. Or, excuse me, Ahsoka and Rex in Obi-Wan, right? I think yes. I think very much yes, we get Ahsoka. I think we definitely get a live-action Rex.
Oh, yeah. I think...
I don't know if Rex leaves that planet in canon, though. And I don't know if Obi-Wan leaves Tatooine. Is he supposed to leave Tatooine in the show? I don't know.
Well, we believe he doesn't. However, I would think that they have liberties to play with because Obi-Wan, as far as I know, doesn't, especially in the movies, doesn't mention that he's never left Tatooine.
He's always Luke, though, isn't he? Isn't he fucking watching?
Yeah, I'm just saying there. I think there is a door open a little bit, and I think even with Rex, there's a bit of a door open because you can tinker with that story a little while. I know George Lucas has had a whole thing on like continuity before. I think he said like continuities for wimps. That may be a quote from George Lucas. I know that was like thing with Filoni as well. So like Filoni may take that same sense of like, look, I mean, shit. What did Rex say in Rebels? Rex said that he never betrayed his Jedi. He technically did. He shot at Ahsoka. So I know Filoni may not mind tinkering a little bit. I think I've heard that with Jordan. May rather than Star Wars Reddit. So
more important
from a certain point of view.
Yeah.
So it's more important to be entertaining than adhere strictly to canon. I think anyway.
Yeah. So we know we're getting a live action Ahsoka. We believe we're getting a live action Ahsoka series. So there's a lot to wrap up. We're getting it in live action, which fucking rules. And then final thoughts. What's next? Like what do we think here? Because there's like, especially Mandalorian, there's the Night of 1,000 Tears. We have not seen the final wrap of the Siege of Mandalore. We will be getting more Siege of Mandalore content, and it may be in a flashback with the Mandalorian, it seems, because it's such an important thing that was even mentioned in the season finale of the first season.
Yeah, maybe they save it for that. Sometimes I get too far into the forest to see the trees when it comes to the Star Wars Easter egg connection thing, where I'm like, what if they bring this and this and this and this, and then they connect this to this, and then the fucking person from Battlefront 2 is Rey's mother, and then it's like, no, they probably won't do that because these are made for the general public, and they want to make sure that 99% of the people that are watching this understand the story. So I get it if we don't see that. I hope with the Rebels sequel, we see a post Return of the Jedi pre-Force Awakens era. That's the era I'm most interested in getting explored. So that's like my hope. Obviously, people will immediately be like, oh my God, don't touch the original trilogy characters because they're so beloved. But I would trust Dave Filoni with them. So I'm satisfied with the way they wrap this up, and I'm really looking forward to whatever Dave Filoni does next. And I watched that Mandalorian behind the scenes thing, by the way, right after this. And if you haven't seen the first episode of it, you have to watch it just for the props that Dave Filoni gets in it. And you can get like a full scope of like, okay, this is the Star Wars guy.
I think I'm with you in a lot of that. I don't think that there's anything where I'm like, damn, I need to see this. I need to see this brought to life. I need to see this made into an animated series. I need to see this made into live action. I feel like I just want to be propositioned stuff. I want them to come and be like, hey, so you want this? Would you like this for your order? Would you like this for your order? And I'm going to be like, give me both. Like, give me 2 for $20 today. Like, anything they want to do, I'm totally down for and will binge in insane quickness. So I'm fine with that.
I mean, I'm pleased. That's my last words. I'm very happy with this. I'm going to rewatch it. I can't wait to rewatch it all back to back to back. Like, that's how I want to, because I think this episode too, I saw a couple people that were like, oh, it didn't have as many crazy moments as the last few. But when you think about it in the context of a movie, this was a very emotional ending to a very sad story, really. And I think it ties in perfect. In the context of these all together, I loved it. It was a surprising way to go, but a perfect way to go. And you felt that emotion. And again, it's a personal story. That's how they wrapped up this series, with a very personal story of Ahsoka and Darth Vader, Anakin. Pretty fucking great job.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say on that. It was fun.
Bravo. You did it, Dave Filoni.
Way to go, Dave.
Good job, Dave.
And George for helping create Clone Wars.
Yeah, it was nice to see, obviously, the end, the first thing that says, created by George Lucas. It was like, nice shit, Dave Filoni.
Yeah. I'm very happy. Good show. Good show.
It was good. Ahsoka created her.
That's it. So Westworld recaps. We have that. We have a last one here, but let us know below what you want to see next. Maybe just from us. Like, what do you want to see us review next? Maybe break down next. Maybe we go through old Star Wars stuff. I don't know. We could figure something out. We don't have to wait till October. Tell us, but also below, what kind of series do you want to see next from Star Wars? Do you want to see Maul? Do you want to see Ahsoka, Rex? Let us know. Give us your thoughts. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when our next videos come out. And in the meantime, maybe we'll do some other Star Wars stuff, but if not, we'll see you in October for Mandalorian.